Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the current affairs. Today we are going to learn the current affairs of 19th of December 2024. So let's start and see what are the things we can learn from this particular day. What are the things we can add into our notebooks? What are the things we can add into our general knowledge that will help us in preparation of our exams and that will help us in particularly targeting our exams with the help of the current affairs. So let's start our session. Before we start, these are the topics I got covered for you in this session. So I have got national news, state news, banking and finance news, science and technology news, sports news, important days, appointments and resignations, ranks and reports, summits and conferences. So we will talk about them one by one and we'll see what are the things we can learn from these particular news. Before we start, the images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So first news that we have with us today is that DGFT extends AIIMS for IT hardware products until December 2025. So let's see that what it is all about. So the Director General of Foreign Trade announced the extension of the import management system for 7 IT hardware products until December 31st, 2025. Importers must obtain a fresh import authorization through a DGFT portal with applications open from December 13, 2024 to December 15, 2025. This decision addresses the supply-demand gap in the IT hardware market and provides clarity for major companies like HP, Dell, Apple, and Lenovo. The system was previously set to expire on 31st December 2024. So basically, this is a kind of a extension of the hardware products that particularly are being used. And the Director General of Foreign Trade has announced that the extension of the import management system for 7 IT hardware products will be extended. And this is all done. And the major companies like HP, Dell, Apple, and Lenovo are being addressed, and the supply demand with them is being continued. Previously this is particularly to be expired on 31st December. So remember, DGFT had extended the AIIMS for IT hardware products. NLC India partners UPR VUNL to launch its first supercritical power plant named 1980 MW GTPP in UP. So NLC India Limited, that is NLCIL, in partnership with Uttar Pradesh Rajya Vidyut Utpadan Nigam Limited, commenced commercial operations of its first supercritical power plant, 1980 megawatt Ghatampur thermal power plant in Uttar Pradesh. Recently, remember one more thing, that in Gorakhpur, the first indigenous waste management system plant is being inaugurated, and remember that it was inaugurated in Gorakhpur. It is the first fossil fuel-based thermal power plant commissioned in India during the financial year 2024-2025. The GTPP project aims to meet the increasing electricity demand in UP and Assam. The plant provides better thermal efficiency, uses less fuel, and produces fewer emissions than regular thermal plants. So do remember that NLC India partners UPR VUNL to launch in first supercritical power plant named 1980 MW GTPP in UP. So remember that other than the indigenous waste management system that was particularly inaugurated in Gorakhpur, after that this particular new type of thermal plant is being inaugurated in UP once again. Gujarat CM Bhupendra Patel launches Prakritik Krishi portal to promote organic farming. So, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel launched the Prakritik Krishi portal to promote organic farming. So, basically, organic farming is a term that we use on a regular basis for the last 5 or 6 or 8 years or 10 years. So, basically, organic farming is a kind of a new type of venture that is being famous among the new startups and entrepreneurs. And to promote organic farming, the Prakritik Krishi portal is also created by the Gujarat CM Mr. Bhupendra Patel. The initiative was introduced to mark the occasion of Seva Sushashan and Anna Sampan Na Do Varsh, 2 years of exceptional service and dedication in his role as CM. So, if I tell you about organic farming, one more thing that you need to remember is that organic farming is the thing where the particular the artificial pesticides and other things are not being used, or the artificial fertilizers are not being used. Only the natural fertilizers are used. So that kind of farming is basically known as organic farming. The portal aims to support the transition towards organic farming across the state. CM Patel engaged with representatives of farmers, producers, organizations, and distributed financial assistance checks to FPOs. Gujarat is home to approximately 422 FPOs, 97 of which are specifically focused on natural farming. So do remember that particularly Gujarat CM has inaugurated or launched the Prakritik Krishi portal that is basically there to promote or to particularly deal with organic farming. MOF GNPA of PSBs declined from 14.58% in March 2018 to 3.12% in September 2024. So according to the Ministry of Finance, the gross non-performing asset ratio of public sector bank decreased to a decade low of 3.12% in September 2024 from a peak of 14.58% in March 2018. So first of all, you need to understand that what is GNPA, that is the gross non-performing asset. So basically, any person who is taking loan from a bank, and if he is delaying his EMIs, or if he is delaying the completion of his loan of submitting the particular amount to the bank, that particular type of person or loan creditor is particularly known as the NPA. So according to the data of the Ministry of Finance recently, the public sector banks, they have seen the decrement of the NPAs, and in the last 10 years it has been decreased to 3.12% in September 2024, while in 2018 it was around 14.58%. The improvement is attributed to measures like the 4 Rs: recognition, recapitalization, resolution, and reforms. All the banking students, please do remember that this type of question may ask into your exams, that what are the 4 Rs, or they will ask that they will give you the 3 Rs and they will ask which is the fourth one. So remember: recognition, recapitalization, resolution, and reform undertaken by the Government of India since 2015. The capital to risk weighted asset ratio of PSBs improved by 393 basis points from 11.45% in March 2015 to 15.43% in September 2024. So do remember that if we are talking about the capital to risk weighted asset ratio of PSBs improved by 393 basis points. PSBs reported the highest ever cumulative net profit of rupees 1.41 lakh crore during the financial year 2023-2024. The number of bank branches in India increased from 1 lakh 17,990 in March 2014 to 1 lakh 60,501 in September 2024. So all the data that is being shared here, all the banking students, you importantly remember that the particular gross NPA ratio currently is 3.12%. This is important, which is with respect to the 2018 data, that is 14.58%. The 4 Rs are recognition, recapitalization, resolution, and reforms undertaken by the Government of India since 2015. The capital to risk weighted asset ratio of PSBs improved by 393 basis points. Okay, remember this point also. And do remember that the number of bank branches in India increased from 1,17,990 from 2014 to 1,60,000 to 501 in September 2024. So remember this data. Fitch lowers India's GDP forecast to 6.4% for financial year 25. So Fitch rating has lowered India's GDP growth forecast to 6.4% for financial year 25 from its previous estimate of 7%. So we have seen around in July, August, and September that a lot of rating agencies have increased the forecast of GDP of India from 6.8 or 7%. But now some of the companies or some of the rating agencies, they have decreased it. Currently, if we are talking about RBI, so RBI has also forecasted it to be 7 to 7.2, and some other companies have also forecasted it to be 6.8 to 7. But now, as we can see that Fitch rating agency, they have decreased the forecast from 7% to 6.4%. The agency raised India's GDP forecast for financial year 26 to 6.5%, both projections being lower than the 8.2% growth rate registered in financial year 24. The slowdown in quarter second of the financial year 25 was mainly driven by weakened urban middle class consumptions. Fitch maintains a positive outlook on India's economic resilience due to domestic demand and continuity of policies like infrastructure development, digitalization, and business reforms. The Reserve Bank of India downgraded India's real GDP growth projection for financial year 25 from 7.2% to 6.6%. So do remember that particularly if we are talking about the Fitch rating agency, so according to them, the rating of GDP of India is 6.4% according to the recent data. Shriram Finance sells stake in SHFL to Warburg Pincus for rupees 3929 crore. So Shriram Finance Limited completed the sale of its entire 84.44% stake in Shriram Housing Finance Limited to Warburg Pincus for rupees 3929 crore. The deal was finalized with Warburg's Pincus affiliate Mango Crest Investment Limited after obtaining all necessary regulatory approvals. Valiant Capital Partners LP, which owned the remaining stake in SHFL, will also divest its entire equity stake to Warburg Pincus. The sale allows SFL to focus on its core operations and pursue growth opportunities. So do remember that Shriram Finance sells stake in SHFL to Warburg Pincus for rupees 3929 crore. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari unveils Switch EIV 12 and Switch E1 buses. So Union Minister of Road and Transport Mr. Nitin Gadkari has launched the Switch EIV 12, India's first low-floor electricity bus developed by Switch Mobility Limited. The Switch E1 for the European market was virtually flagged off in Spain. The Switch EIV 12 features a floor-mounted battery for better stability and comfort, accommodating up to 39 passengers. The Switch E1 has in-wheel motors, a flat gangway, and a triple-door layout, accommodating up to 93 passengers. Both buses are fully designed, developed, and manufactured in India. So do remember that Union Minister Nitin Gadkari has unveiled the Switch EIV 12 and Switch E1 buses recently. Google partners with NCRT to launch YouTube channels in 29 Indian languages. So Google, as we know, is a browser basically, and a particular company that works under the Alphabet parent company Alphabet, and it has partnered with NCRT. So Google has partnered with the National Council for Education, Research and Training to launch YouTube channels in 29 Indian languages, including sign language. The initiative aims to provide free education content to students between grade 1 to 12 and empower teachers. Google has also partnered with the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning to offer credentialed courses on YouTube. The initiative opens up a route for individuals outside the Indian Institute of Technology system to access NPTEL courses on YouTube and receive certificates from the IITs. So do remember that Google has partnered with NCERT to launch YouTube channels in 29 languages and including sign language for provide education to the students from grade 1 to 12 and empower teachers. And also if we talk about YouTube, so YouTube is a subsidiary of Google also, remember that. And if we talk about Google, so recently Google has also launched their own AI that is called Gemini AI. And recently, one more thing happened with Google is that Google partnered with Adani Group to focus on the type of things that they can do regarding the suppression of the carbon emission in India and the other industries. TCS extends partnership with T&DK for another 5 years. So Tata Consultancy Service Limited has extended its partnership with Telenor Denmark for another 5 years. TCS will continue to manage TNDK's IT infrastructure from its European delivery center. The renewed partnership will focus on leveraging advanced automation technologies to reduce operational costs and enhance IT systems. TCS aims to ensure smooth business continuity and improve digital assets and user experiences. Over the past 6 years, TCS has modernized the infrastructure supporting over 1.6 million subscribers. So do remember that TCS, which is also has been called so many times as the particular brand of India as the most valuable brand. So they have particularly extended their partnership with the TNDK. What is TNDK? That is Telenor Denmark company for another 5 years. Researchers discovered 5 new species of Darwin wasp in India and Thailand. So again, another news about the discovery of another type of species in flora and fauna. Now, a discovery that has been done regarding the Darwin wasp, and we have discovered so many things. Let me remind you. First is the needlefish in Kerala, then a slug in Odisha that is named after President Draupadi Murmu. Aquaphor genus in Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat was discovered recently. A blue ant was discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. Apart from that, a snake was discovered in Himalayas, which is named after Leonardo DiCaprio. And if we talk about now, a Darwin wasp has been discovered in India and Thailand. And also a new type of crocodile was discovered in Vietnam, which is particularly orange back and a black body. So researchers from the Ashok Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment discovered 5 new species of the Darwin wasp subfamily Microleptinae from India and Thailand. The species belongs to the family Hymenoptera with the scientific name Ichneumonidae. The discovery represents the first documented presence of the Microleptinae subfamily in India. The research was led by Ranjit AP and Priyadarshan Dharmarajan of Atri in collaboration with Buntika A. Butcher from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand and Andrei A. Homala from the Russian Academy of Sciences. You don't need to remember all these things. The thing that you need to remember is that Darwin wasp is discovered in which two countries? India and Thailand. The 5 new species were found in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Siang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Thailand. So remember these things also, that the new species was discovered in particularly Tamil Nadu, Siang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand in India, and also Kerala and in Thailand. So these are the things that you need to remember. D. Gukesh becomes the youngest world champion at 18, breaks Kasparov's record. So you must have heard about this news so many times on social media as well. I guess. Now I will remind you about it. So I hope you must have heard about this wonder boy, that is D. Gukesh, and he has become the youngest world champion at 18, and he broke the world record. The famous video that surfaced on social media recently was when he was just mere 8 or 10 years old, and he particularly was saying that he want to be the youngest world champion. So the power of manifestation we can also see. So let's read about him more. So Indian Grandmaster D. Gukesh from Chennai, remember that he is from Chennai, defeated China's Ding Liren to win the World Chess Championship in 2024 in Singapore. Remember where it happened? In Singapore. Gukesh has become the youngest world champion at the age of 18 years, 8 months and 14 days, breaking Garry Kasparov's record. He was awarded a prize money of rupees 11.45 crore, US dollar 1.35 million by the International Chess Federation and rupees 5 crore by the Tamil Nadu government. Gukesh is the second grandmaster from India to hold a world title after Vishwanathan Anand. He has a global rank of 5 with a FIDE rating of 3783 as of December 2024. Remember, Arjun Irgaizi has also the highest ranking in Indian category in chess. So remember that name also. But do remember that D. Gukesh has surfaced as a champion and a youngest champion in the World Chess Championship 2024. He defeated Ding Liren from China in Singapore. So remember D. Gukesh. International Day to End Violence Against Sex Workers 2024, December 17. So the International Day to End Violence Against Sex Workers is observed annually on December 17 to raise awareness about the violence, discrimination and abuse faced by sex workers worldwide. The day promotes equality, safety and respect for the human rights of sex workers. The 21st International Day to End Violence Against Sex Workers serves as a reminder to advocate for the right of sex workers and remember those who have lost their lives due to violence. The day was first observed in 2003 following the tragic death of 49 sex workers attributed to the Green River Killer in Seattle, USA. Global observance is organized by the Global Network of Sex Work Projects. So you must be thinking that what is this violence against sex workers? So basically those people, woman or man who are engaged in sex works, basically we can say the prostitutes. So sometimes in those countries in where it is legal, sometimes we have seen that any particular serial killer or any particular person, they have abused them or they have killed them and no one was talking about their rights and other things. So particularly to create awareness regarding this thing, December 17 has been dedicated to the International Day to end the violence against sex workers. And if we talk about that why this particular day was observed, because the day was first observed in 2003 following the tragic deaths of 49 sex workers attributed to a particular serial killer called Green River Killer in Seattle, USA. So do remember that this is the 21st International Day to End Violence Against Sex Workers and it particularly falls on 17th December. Francois Bayrou appointed as the PM of France. So we have seen the third Prime Minister in the year of France. Remember the President of France is Emmanuel Macron, but the Prime Minister, the Francois Bayrou, is the third Prime Minister so far in 2024. So let's read about him. So President Emmanuel Macron appointed Francois Bayrou as the Prime Minister of France after the former Prime Minister Michel Barnier was overthrown by the Parliament. So let me remind you, in the starting of 2024, Gabriel Attal was appointed as the Prime Minister. He became the youngest Prime Minister of France at that time. After that, Michel Barnier was appointed as the Prime Minister because Gabriel Attal was an interim Prime Minister only or an acting Prime Minister. After that, now currently, Francois Bayrou has now become the Prime Minister of France and appointed on this position. Francois Bayrou is the leader of the Modem group, allied with Macron's party. His appointment comes amid significant political instability due to fragmented National Assembly. On December 13, 2024, Michel Barnier officially transferred his power to Francois Bayrou during a ceremony in Paris. Francois Bayrou has presided over the European Democratic Party (EDP) and Democratic Movement (MODEM). So do remember that Francois Bayrou has been appointed as the PM of France recently and replacing Michael Barnier. And remember that in 2024, in starting of 2024, Gabriel Attal became the prime minister and he became the youngest prime minister of France at that time. 1.4 billion hectares of land facing excessive salinity threatening global food security, FAO report. So the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, headquartered in Rome, released its first major global assessment of salt-affected soil in 50 years. The report titled The Global Status of Salt-Affected Soil was launched during the International Soil and Water Forum 2024 in Bangkok, Thailand. So remember two, three things up to here. First is that Food and Agriculture Organization has released the Global Assessment of Salt-Affected Soils. The particular title of this report is The Global Status of Salt Affected Soils, and it was launched during the International Soil and Water Forum that was organized in Bangkok, Thailand. Remember these two things very well. Nearly 1.4 billion hectares of land, or 10.7% of the global land area, is affected by salinity. India has approximately 6.72 million hectares of salt affected soils, constituting about 2.1% of the country's total geographical area. The report urges global action to address soil degradation and water scarcity, which pose serious risk to food security worldwide. So, those of you who don't know that salt is a kind of an enemy to the soil. If the salt is added to the soil, then it will become infertile. As we, if you have read about, if you read Indian geography, then you must have heard about a topic that is called the classification of soils. And in that classification of soil, you must have heard about three types of soil which are infertile: desert soil, um, peat and marsh soil that is not appropriate for any kind of cultivation, and the third one is the alkaline or saline soil. So saline soil is a kind of a soil that is not, that cannot be used in proper way for cultivation. So that is why this data is given. So remember that nearly 1.4 billion hectares of land, or 10.7%, remember this point, 10.7% of the global land is affected by salinity. India has approximately 6.72 million hectares of salt affected soils, constituting about 2.1% of the country's total geographical area. The report urges global action to address soil degradation and water scarcity, which poses serious risk to food security worldwide. So global level, it is 10.7% of the global land, and in India, it is around 2.1% of total country's area. Report is published by FAO. The report name is Global Assessment of Salt Affected Soil, and it was organized, it was launched in International Soil and Water Forum in Bangkok, Thailand. Very important news this is. Do remember all these things. WHO report 2024, 38% drop in global drowning deaths. The World Health Organization published its first ever global status report on drowning prevention 2024. The report highlights a 38% drop in the global drowning death rate since 2000. So drowning death means when a person drowns in water and die. So particularly from 2000, since 2000, there is a 38% drop in such type of deaths. Over 3 lakh drowning deaths were recorded in 2021, with the WHO's Southeast Asia region, including India, seeing 83,000 deaths. More than 30 people drown every year, resulting in an estimated 3 lakh deaths annually. The report emphasizes the high mortality rate in low and middle income countries, which accounts for nearly 92% of all drowning deaths. So do remember that WHO report 38% drop is there in global drowning death. PhD CCI report on post-COVID GSGDP growth. 17 states achieved over 9% and 25 states over 7%. Let's see what it is. So PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, that is PhD CCI, unveiled an analytical report titled States Performance Indicator Report, paving India's green path for sustainable and inclusive development. The report highlighted that 25 states achieved more than 7% growth in gross state domestic product during financial year 22 and financial year 23, with 17 states achieving more than 9% growth. Gujarat, Kerala, Telangana, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Bihar, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Odisha stood out for their strong economic performance. Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh were top performers in agriculture production. Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Odisha are rich in mineral resources, while Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Karnataka lead in industrial and technological advancements. So, do remember that according to the data, there are 25 states have achieved more than 7% growth in the gross state domestic product, and 17 states have achieved more than 9%. Gujarat, Kerala, Telangana, Rajasthan, and West Bengal, Bihar, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Odisha stand out their strong economic performance. MOPSW organized inaugural India Maritime Heritage Conclave 2024 in New Delhi. So, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways organized the first India Maritime Heritage Conclave from December 11 to December 12, 2024 at Yeshobhumi Dwarka in New Delhi. Remember, the Minister of Shipping and Waterways is Mr. Sarbanand Sonwal. The conclave was inaugurated by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and focused on the theme towards understanding India's position in global maritime history. The event celebrated India's extensive maritime legacy and its significant contributions to global trade, culture, and innovation. Global experts and academicians from 11 countries participated, highlighting the global significance of the event. The Government of India plans to invest Rs 4,000 crore over the next 5 years for the development of the National Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal in Gujarat. And remember that this particular project is being built along with Vietnam, because at that time Vietnam was officially on the visit to India. So this was done along with Vietnam. Remember that as well. India and UAE signed the memorandum to strengthen the Polar and Ocean Research Cooperation at the 15th India UAE GCM. So India's National Center for Polar and Ocean Research and the UAE's Emirates Polar Mission Steering Committee signed a memorandum of understanding during the 15th India UAE Joint Commission meeting in New Delhi. The meeting was jointly chaired by Minister S. Jaishankar and UAE's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Discussions covered areas of trade, economy, energy, security, defense cooperation, cultural ties, and regional stability. India and UAE also hold the fourth strategic dialogue in New Delhi, discussing ways to strengthen their strategic partnership in various sectors. The UAE President is Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and the Prime Minister is Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. So do remember, India and UAE signed a memorandum to strengthen polar and ocean research cooperation at the 15th India UAE JCM, that is Joint Commission meeting, and it was held in New Delhi. 16th UNCCD Conference of the Parties COP16 in Riyadh. So 16th session of the Conference of Parties of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Remember, it is related to desertification, not climate. The climate COP is 29th and it happened in Azerbaijan recently. It is related to desertification and particularly it happened in Riyadh. Was conducted in from 2nd of December to 13th December in 2024 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The conference was based on the theme Our Land, Our Future and saw the participation of nearly 200 countries. The event aimed to renew global commitment to enhance investment and action to restore land and boost drought resilience. India presented the Aravalli Green Wall project to revive over 1.1 million hectares of the hills across Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Delhi by 2027. The Global Drought Resilience Partnership was launched to combat drought impacts globally, securing over $12 billion in pledges. So do remember that 16th UNCCD Conference of the Parties in Riyadh was particularly done. And I am repeating once again, it is COP16 related to desertification happening in Riyadh. That is related to climate happened in Azerbaijan, COP29. And that's it in this session, guys. I hope you learned a lot of things with me in this session and gained a lot of knowledge regarding the current affairs. I will meet you in the next session. Till then, bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.